So I just want to share a little story with you guys about food and your attitude towards it. Okay, so this morning I'm in a gym. I see a guy that I talk to him every once in a while. We're both there same time every day. We just run into each other. So this morning he asked me, he says, "Hey man," he says, "I noticed since the gym's open back up, you've gained a lot of muscle." So he asked me he says, "What kind of supplements are you taking?" So I told him, I was like, "What do you mean what kind of supplements I'm taking?" I just, like protein, pre-workout, just bottom shelf supplements, like nothing crazy. And he's like, how are you looking big? How are you getting, gaining muscle and stuff? So I told him, I said, "Well, I'm just eating a lot. I'm eating a lot of food." And he looks at me and he says like, "Oh yeah, so it's just all fat, right?" Like wink, wink, like, okay. Like I'm trying to pull one over on him, And it really just got me thinking, like, do you really think that just because I say I'm eating more, that somehow that equates to gaining fat and does not equate to gaining muscle, right? So it just got me thinking, like, what are other people's attitudes towards food versus mine? And so what this guy really did is he kind of opened my eyes, and I've heard it many times before, it just hadn't really dawned on me this way. But I've heard it, so many people, they just automatically equate food or certain foods with fat or skinny, right? And there's not a lot else to it, right? And I'm not talking about like overindulging, right? Just stuffing your face constantly. Yeah, you're probably gonna gain some fat. There's no way around that. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is viewing food in a way that supports your goals, right? Like, what are my goals right now? Right now, I'm working on a 20-week project to gain muscle without gaining fat. So it makes sense, right? But how am I accomplishing that? Through food, right? So when I look at food, I'm looking at food like, what is this food gonna give me? So I'm looking at, does this food have vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fats, proteins, carbohydrates, right? That's what I'm looking at. But I'm also looking at it like, what else have I eaten today? Have I already eaten a bunch of carbohydrates and a bunch of fats today, right? So I'm comparing all day long, but unconsciously, right? I don't think about it. I just think, does this food help me meet my goals, right? So how do I know that? Well, learning, studying, practice, right? Like just doing it for years, right? You just know, how is this food going to treat my body? But you have to learn that. No one can tell you that. And I really just think it's really inappropriate when people look at, especially right now, it seems like the popular thing is carbohydrates, right? People just look at carbohydrates, all carbohydrates, and say, oh, carbohydrates equals fat, right? Completely false. There is a widespread misunderstanding of what carbohydrates are and what they do for your body, okay? So, but it's things like this, right? Like, do I want to eat a bunch of carbohydrates? Absolutely I do. Because the environment that I put my body in, I am telling my body it needs to do work, hard work, every single day, okay? So, what's the body's preferred fuel? It's glucose. It is carbohydrates. When you look at food, you should look at food like, does this support my goal? Does this support my health? Does it taste good? Do I feel good about this food, right? Like, adopt an attitude to enjoy, to appreciate, and to accept food for what it is, not just this thing that, oh, you eat more of it, you're just going to get fat. Well, no, I'm trying to gain muscle. And judging by his questions, so is he. But who's going to gain more muscle? My attitude towards food, or his attitude towards food, where, you need a supplement? You don't need a supplement. What are supplements? Supplementation to the diet, okay? The cornerstone is the diet. The cornerstone is food. Food is health. Food is power, it's strength. Food is all of these things, okay? It is much, much more than just skinny, fat, right? That's not it at all. So all I'm really here to say is if you are struggling to meet your goals, whether it's gaining muscle, losing weight, just getting healthier, whatever, just stop, think for a second. When I look at food, what do I see? Okay? And start there. Anyway, that's all I got on this one. I just had to get that off my chest. So I'll see you guys on the next one.